Hello, these are all my thoughts and opinions based on public information out there. Please do your own research, and this is for entertainment purposes only. I wanted to do this video because I've never really spoken specifically about Meghan Markle's pregnancies. I know a lot of people say that they're fake, or some of them claim that they're real. They must be real because the kids are included in the line of succession. I think that's what gives credibility, is what gives credibility to Meghan Markle having carried those children. Because, and this is why it's so important to call out the royal family or the monarchy or the head of or our monarch for the lack of public verification on these details. Because the only, and this is just my opinion, the only thing giving credibility or veracity to Meghan Markle's claim that she carried those children is the fact that they are included in the line of succession. The line of succession is something very, very delicate, and certain legalities have to be met in order for kids to be included in the line of succession, or for people to be included in the line of succession. Because being in the line of succession, let's not forget, this is a constitutional monarchy. So, and things have a way of happening, just like Meghan Markle said. Prince Harry is one plane crash away with Prince William and his family. And it is a fact. That is true. So this is why it's important that all legalities are met. Also, because it is unfair to the other people that are legally included in the line of succession, who have met all the legal requirements. What are those legal requirements? First, that the children have to be born from the royal, like if it's a male, for example, they have to be from him. Second, that they have to come from the body of the woman, right? And third, that the document with the witnesses signing that they have seen, that they have witnessed the child being pulled out of the woman's body, be made public. Now, the whole world is assuming that those three criteria were met, in spite of the fact that for the first time ever since those rules were applied. Why do you think those rules were created? Because there was a lot of ongoing fraud many years ago, early centuries, that women could not get pregnant or could not give baby boys, because it was male preference for the line of succession. They would lie. They would sleep with others, get pregnant, and they claim that the kid was, the king's child, or yeah, that's all. They would fake and all of that. So it became a norm that in order to avoid that, the childbirth had to be witnessed. Nowadays, that was changed. People say, oh, the queen changed that. It's not that the queen changed that. It's just that things have progressed to the point that women were giving birth. There were doctors present, so the doctors could witness, hey, we took it out of this woman, and they would sign that document, say, yeah, we did that, we saw that. So you didn't need like a government representative there anymore, because doctors are licensed by the state, by the government, and by them signing that document that they delivered that child alive from that woman's body, that is testimony enough. But in this case with Meghan Markle, first of all, ever since that was instituted in the modern times, if you like, it's the only time that the monarchy has gotten the time wrong when the child was delivered. Why? Because they have never been given that document. The public has never seen that document. You can see that everybody else prior to Meghan Markle, they all presented that document. She hasn't. She didn't inform, and the reason why She needs to inform the palace when she's going into labor, is in case anything happens. They need to be witnesses. There were protocols in place for her safety and the safety of others as well. And because, the queen has to be informed. They didn't even do that. They didn't even have that courtesy. Oh, we went and did it our own way. That's great. And that is absolutely fine if they want to keep the children out of this line of succession. If they had said, you know what, we don't want our children in the line of succession. We don't want any of the titles, as like Omid Scooby has falsely claimed. You remember that thing that Omid Scooby said, Meghan didn't want the children. They went behind everybody's back and as it was a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's because they're bypassing all legalities while demanding all privileges, and positions and titles. It's like me. I wish I could be, imagine you coming and saying, give me an American passport. And the first thing they will ask you is, they will ask you for a bunch of documents. But Harry and Meghan want to get the passport. This is just a metaphor, okay? A comparison. They want to get that passport without presenting any of the documents. Anybody in the world would say to them, no, you can't get a passport unless you meet this legal criteria, which they haven't. So they lied to the queen. They didn't inform the queen. First, it's done out of courtesy, but also because it has legalities implied. There's security attached to it. You know what I mean? Security at the hospital, security everywhere, And also because they need to present that document. Now, they have to make it public because in order for it to be valid, it has to be public. The public has to be convinced that that is the case. They have not made that document public. People say that they respect Harry and Meghan Markle's wishes, but here it's not about wishes. If they don't want things to be made public, as it is the law or, the custom, and for a very good reason, then the children cannot be in the line of succession. And this is where the queen has failed. She has allowed, people say, oh, poor queen. No, the queen has allowed this. And you guys know I'm a monarchist. I love the queen. But you have to call out people. The queen has allowed this ongoing breaking of the rules, this ongoing fraud, because it is fraud. Meghan Markle, when she insisted, when Meghan Markle was offered and Harry were offered, you know what? You're not going to get any titles. You can live your lives as private citizens, Meghan, and we will even help you in your acting career. What did she say? And this is a year and a half into everything. She's had two of the most principal staff members of the queen advising her, teaching her. But of course, she didn't want to learn anything because, and again, I repeat myself, she never intended to stay there. So why learn anything? She's not going to stay there. She's going to swindle her way out of that, con her way out of that because she knew what her intentions were. So, but the queen has allowed this. I don't care that they're fighting, that they're calling everybody racist, which again is another point of contention because Meghan Markle is calling the staff that advises the queen racist because she's accusing the institution without any proof. And now again, her and Harry and the press, for some reason, they just choose to say racist, but they don't want to focus on the fact that they both lied. Harry and Meghan there were discrepancies as to what they were talking about. And let's not forget that the only racist in the royal family has been Harry. So, and Meghan. Meghan is a racist person. So these legalities, the queen has allowed these legalities to be ignored. My cousin is a sheriff in the police department in Beverly Hills, in the Westwood area. I asked him to please get a copy of the birth certificate of Meghan's second child. I gave him the names as they appear in the line of succession in the royal website with the date of birth that they claim to have. And his response is, he's a sheriff in the police department, okay? There's nobody in Santa Barbara born with the name Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor on June 4th. There's no details. They can't provide him that. It's not that is sealed, and these records are not sealed, by the way. In order to seal them, it would have to be something with national security. They can't provide him the copy of the birth certificate because those records there's nobody with that name on that date on that area born, at least not recorded officially. And he is a sheriff, you know. So, and I said to him, it has to be those details, because those details are the ones that are reported in the royal website, you know. And that's what Meghan Markle said. And that's the fake thing that they presented. I don't know who, Daily Mail and everybody. And I sent him that. And he said to me, Paula, according to the details that you provided, there's no record with those details. That's all he could say. So now the Queen is allowing this to happen. And it's very important to know that the line of succession has legal consequences, constitutional consequences. So for me, I am a Canadian. I demand to see that. I need to see that because I don't trust this woman. Now, according to her, she had a miscarriage at the end of July last year. Anatomically speaking, biologically speaking, when a woman, and she said it's at the end of July, it takes 4 to 6 weeks. And this is medical. I know that many sugars were going to come, after 2 weeks, I lost my baby, I had another child. Well, I don't know how they did that, because when a miscarriage occurs, when you were pregnant, you're not ovulating. It's like trying to get pregnant when you're pregnant. It's impossible, right? Okay, so when you miscarriage a child, your body's still in that hormonal process. You have a hormonal period where your body needs to adjust and you need to start ovulating again. And that process takes about 4 to 6 weeks, right? So if she got pregnant at the end of, if she lost the child at the end of July, most doctors, given her age and the high-risk pregnancy, because she was a geriatric pregnancy if she did indeed have the baby, she would have gotten pregnant mid-September. And yet she's posting pictures looking like she's 7 months pregnant. What is that all about? So for me, if you ask me if I believe her that she carried those children, I don't think she did. That's my personal opinion. Based on the lies around it. There's too much fraud. There's too much not presenting the documents, you know, and it has nothing to do with privacy or secrecy. It has to do with secrecy. And you only operate under the cloak of secrecy if you're doing something wrong or fraud, you know. Now, they could have presented the documents with the doctor's signature, because now they've thrown a bunch of doctors that now they've come out and said, we didn't give birth to that child, because they'd even refused to give the name of the doctor who delivered the children. So that doesn't make sense. To protect the doctors, that doesn't make sense. That is just another excuse. That's just BS. And it's a requirement. It is a legal requirement. But again, the monarch has allowed this to be ignored. And this is why Harry and Meghan Markle get away with everything, because they have been allowed to. I have my son. You know, you as a parent only allowed your child to get away with so much. You know, you dictate, you guide. I know that I'm being simplistic, but the Queen has a duty to the monarchy, because the credibility of the monarchy is being put into question. Nobody has seen those documents. They refuse to present those documents. The easel outside of Buckingham Palace, which is in a way an official document, was wrong. They didn't get the right time. Oh, there was a confusion. There was no confusion. It was done on purpose. So if you ask me if I believe that she gave birth, no. If she wants to be a private citizen because she wants to safeguard, you know, like the secrecy or the privacy of her kids, then, and she refuses to give that information, that should have consequences. Okay, if you don't want to present the proof or meet the legal requirements, your children cannot be in the line of succession. Your children cannot have that, you know, because again, being in the line of succession has a lot of privileges and constitutional consequences. But these are just my thoughts and opinions. And I know a lot of you, for me, it's not about the bump, whether the bump grew or, yeah, of course, that is very weird. especially, with the latest kid, because I mean, that belly that she put, is like 7 or 8 months when she was like 3 months pregnant. It makes no sense. But again, my cousin, who's a sheriff in the US, says that no record exists with the details that are provided on the Royal UK website. And what's worse is that Her Majesty the Queen is refusing to make public the documents required for those children to be in the line of succession. She wants to be a private citizen and her children and her children to live private lives. That is great. Then remove the children from the line of succession, because for them being in the line of succession, they cannot be private citizens. So I don't know. What do you guys think? These are just my thoughts anyways, but do leave me your comments. Thank you, guys.